Hello everybody. I told you we'd do a little deal on these two skid steers, and we've got a 289D3 2-speed and 14 pin and all that good stuff. This is a Bobcat. It's a new one. It's a 2022 T770, which is a 92 or so horsepower machine versus a 74 and a half horsepower machine. So what we're going to do is do a video on these two machines, and the reason why is because these two machines are the machines that are right below their 100 plus horsepower machines of each manufacturer. Bobcat unfortunately has stopped making the T870. It's no longer in production. They're going to what they call a T86, and from what I've been told is that they're coming out with a T96. So I don't know if it's true, but that's what I was told. But T770, this one right here, is, I guess, one of the last of these series that will ever be made. They're switching over to their new line. So I don't know. But so we're going to go item by item instead of jumping back and forth. I had a 20-minute video already done, and my phone cut off, and it was a big ordeal. But so we're going to start off the undercarriages. So Bobcat has a rigid cat suspension, torsion suspension. What I tell you about cat is that the torsion suspension is phenomenal. And what I really like is the idlers in the front and the back, and the rollers. They're all triple flange, meaning that 1, 2, 3. So the track teeth here for the bars that go across ride in these two grooves, and it's that way on all the rollers to the back. It's phenomenal. It's really hard to detrack one of these. I will say that we have detracked this one time, and that was because my operators that were out in the field did not do their maintenance and did not tension the tracks up the way they needed to be, and which they ran over a log and caused it to detrack. It wasn't that big of a deal to put the track back on. We did have to work at it for about 15-20 minutes. But the Bobcats this one is rigid. I know Bobcat makes a suspension undercarriage as well, but this machine is not. The front roller there, see these teeth? They just ride in between this wide open space. They got a single idler roller in the back, and the rollers in the middle all look just like that. So it's not a trip. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, so 86 that. These rollers are triple flange. So I did not know that. So that is a good thing. I didn't realize that. So that is a plus. I've had T870, a T870, and an S330. And my undercarriage on my Bobcats that I had prior to going to Cat did not look like this. I'm glad that they went ahead and opened this up, because the problem I was having was my undercarriages were getting overloaded, and when they got loaded up with material, they just quit running. You couldn't make them run. I will say this sprocket and back here gets loaded with material, and it is hard as all get out to get that material out of there. It's a design that probably could be changed differently to accommodate to where the dirt and stuff wouldn't pack near as bad. The Cats are pretty good. They have this angled, pitched to where a lot of material over moving and vibration will fall out, but they're, again, real muddy conditions. Material will get packed in there, and there again, it is kind of hard to get out. Cats, this right here, I know why they did that. It's for support for the suspension, but it's also a catch-all. This little junk slot only goes so far, but this can catch material, and it doesn't shed material quite like I thought, but it is nice and open, and it is somewhat easy to clean until you get up to here where the front torsion suspension is, and it gets a little difficult, but it's something you work with. Hoses, not a problem. We've got over 1,000 hours on this machine. We bought it brand new. We haven't had any issues. I do know that Cat does make a shield plate for this now, and you can get one of those, which we probably might get one for this machine. But so anyway, you know, these day and times, it's really hard on machines, because, oh man, you can't get a Takaheuchi. Every time you talk to the Takaheuchi dealership, they're 3 months out, or they've stopped taking orders, or production's ceased, or you know, you get with Cat, they're on a waiting list. All these are, but Bobcat just so happened to have some of these T770s left, and so they demoed it, let us demo it on a job, because we are needing to add another machine to our fleet. Not replacing that one, because it's a good machine. Yes, love?
Mom said Dad coming.
Okay, in a minute. Okay. And so we're adding to the fleet. We've got a 299 D3, which is their 100 and something horsepower machine that's on order, and it's coming with the external cooling unit. It's more going to be for mulching and dirt work, stuff like that too. But anyway, so that's the deal. We got to demo it. We like it because I don't have to wait. If I wanted, I could buy this machine right now. So let's talk about the doors. It's one of the heaviest doors I've ever... they're just like my other Bobcat doors. I mean, they're solid. Solid still. They're heavy. I mean, the electronic cooling fans, I really like them. You can see them here. I will say the battery position's a little off. It hits here. And then these lines here for your alternator, your starter, and whatnot are hitting right here, which I know this is foam and it's fine, but this machine has like 9 hours on it, and you can already see where it's rubbing, you know, so, but it's a good heavy door. Everything's accessible. I like it. Your oil filter, You got your fuel filter, and you can see your glass there, off-road diesel. Fill your oil, check your engine oil. Everything's kind of right here. You got a monstrosity of a particulate diesel filtration system in there, which once it runs out of its warranty, you just delete all that stuff anyway. But yeah, so there's that. So, and then you go to the Cat, and it's not near the back door. There's the backup camera. The T770 doesn't have one on there yet, I guess, or whatever, but it's not near as heavy, but it's real accessible too. Coolant, fuel, diesel fuel fill up, your air filters there. You got your filter up there. You got your coolant radiator right there. Your intercooler, which I've been real surprised that this hasn't been damaged at all, because we do mulching and brush cutting and stuff like that. So, but it's a pretty well designed machine. The only thing that I would say differently is that this is really neat, but that lift cylinder right there, that dampener, whatever you want to call it, went out like within a couple of 100 hours of owning the machine, and Cat told me it was my responsibility to replace it. So not real happy with that, but we'll make do. So these are where all your pulleys and all that stuff are. Your battery cutoff switch. But you can see the difference in how the motors are laid out. Bobcat's motors are sideways versus Cat's are in line. Nice, secure. So we'll talk about the lift arms. These are pretty good. Got a lot of good gussets here, welded real nice. Bobcat, I will say this, has probably one of the best lift arm designs that there are. Just look how massive this is compared to this 1.125" or 1.25" steel plate that, you know, is only about that wide. Their arms are good on the Cat. We've got good welds. I mean, this machine's held up. But I do notice when this machine gets loaded, like if you're trying to dig a stump or what have you, or if you get it at an angle and not squared up, you will torque these arms in whichever way all the pressure's on. You'll see them flex. So either that's a good thing that machine's got so much power it can do it, or it's a bad thing because it's a design flaw and it's weak. So I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I just know what I know from operating and using it all the time. So these cylinders up here for the bucket are pretty much identical to the ones on the Cat. The lift cylinders back here, obviously you can see a difference on the diameter difference between the ones on the Bobcat versus the one on the Cat. But I will say this, that the one on the Cat is a foot longer in stroke length than the Bobcats. So bigger diameter, longer stroke. I'm sure the science works out to be about the same, I guess. So the interior is just like every other Bobcat that we've had, not really changed. I do like it, and that's one thing I did like about my Bobcats, is the way they're laid out. It's open. There's quite a bit of room. Let's get in here and see. They got a deep floorboard. I really like the radio being right there, and the AC knobs down here. Your standard information panel over here to your left, and then you have your start code and all that stuff over here on the right. You can switch ISO to H pattern, whatever. Your twist throttle. You also have a foot throttle right there. Operating instructions. You know, I do like the controls on the Bobcat. They're good. You know, it's a good machine. The cab forward design, that type of thing, it's all good. It does not come with the power bob attach though. I guess they're on back order or limited on production from what the salesman was telling me. I don't know. So this machine's not even plumbed for having that bob attach or the quick connect for Bobcat. And they said they can add it, but it's about a $4,000 upcharge. Well, so I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, I just don't know. As much as these machines are for right now, they ought to come with everything. This is a high flow unit as well. So, so we'll come over here and we'll get in the Bobcat, show you all the difference. Okay, the floor well's not as deep. It's a little smaller. The foot pedal is right there. You got your screen with your backup camera. You got your rear view mirror, your AC controls, your different auxiliary controls, your lights, and some lights over here, and your ride control button. So, you know, your joysticks, it's a little smaller in here. I do like the arms that fold in versus the Bobcat over your head bar type of thing. There we go. So AC vents, you know, they both blow real cold. Windshield wiper fluid still the same. I mean, it's pretty standard. The bad thing is the radio's right there. It's hard to turn it down or control it while you're working, or if you get a phone call and your phone's Bluetooth, it's really hard to adjust the volume. You have to stop, turn around. Bobcat, you know, it's over here and you can still drive. You just can't work the loader arms, but you can do whatever you want to with the radio. So this one, it is what it is, right? Good steps though, good platform to get down. Obviously this one has the quick connects. Yes, it's a little dirty. So we haven't cleaned that machine. We cleaned this one. Oh yeah, and then there's your def. So I think we've kind of went over everything. So the reason why we're doing this, like I said again, is because these two machines, although they're not comparable as far as horsepower, but they are comparable in the size of the machine that they are. And they are both the machines that are below their 100 horsepower machines. And so, you know, this is what Cat has for its machine up into the upgrade for the 100 horsepower machines. This is a 90 horsepower machine that is the machine that's below Bobcat's 100 horsepower machine. So you can see the difference in the track designs. Obviously, Cat, you know, they've figured out the high track system. They've been doing it for a long time. So as far as track systems go, I think Cat has got everybody beat hands down. We ran this machine for about 5 hours on the job the other day, and you can kind of see the bucket's a little dirty, and the machine was dirty, but we cleaned it off. But it was okay. What I did learn is that you can stall and kill the Bobcat. I guess that's a safety feature that they have designed to stall the machine so you don't overload it. With that 289, I've never killed it, nor have I stalled it, and it keeps running. So I know with this T770, which was a little different than the one that I had, you just can't go running into a pile. You have to like stop and then like ease into it, I guess, with the torque management system or whatever it is that it's designed. Then it'll go into it and it'll do the job, but you have to ease into it. So, you know, just something if you bought the machine, you'd have to get used to running it, and that's just like anything. When I went from Bobcat to Cat, you know, I had to learn that machine, and it would be the same thing now. Is that if we bought this machine to add to our fleet, we would have to learn, you know, this machine and how it operates in order to be efficient and effective with it. I don't like the rigid frame. It is kind of rough, but it does work. It's just like a dozer frame or anything else. So, but not a big fan of the single idler roller in the back. I think everything needs to be at least a double flange or triple flange. You know, with the Bobcats that I had, it was a problem that I had was detracking, and it was a pain in the butt. But you know, it's just, there's no perfect machine, and if there was, then everybody would have one of those and everybody else would be out of business. So I did like the machine. Like I said, their lift arms and everything, they're beefy. They did an excellent job on that design. I mean, it's stiff. The only problem I did see, though, is like when we were running this thing it wide open, working it, the arms and the cab do vibrate back and forth. It's kind of concerned me a little bit. But the machine still functions. And I don't know if it's something that would cause major problems later down the road, but you see that right there? That is from that arm vibrating back and forth and hitting on that gusset that's in there. So I don't know if we did that or if that was done prior to us getting the machine. But that's what happened. So I don't know. I don't remember my Bobcats moving side to side like these do. They could have changed the design or something in between my machines and this one. They still have this middle bar here. So, you know, obviously the Cat doesn't have that, but the Cat, if you can tell, their cylinders are more forward and Cat's is more towards the back. So maybe they got to have that extra support in there to keep their arms from moving because of that design. I mean, I don't know. I'm just there again going off of what I see as an operator and an owner. And so, but I mean, you can tell that, you know, that 74 horsepower and the 92, I mean, they're different manufacturers, but the size of the frame is pretty close to the same. I will say this though, the Bobcat is 3 inches wider than that machine. That 289, they say it's 78 inches, but it's more like 77 and a half or something. And this is pretty much a true 80 inch, and that's outside the track. And they both have the they call them 17.7 tracks, but they're actually 18 inches if you measure from outside to outside. They're 18 inches. So so I don't know if we're going to end up buying this one or if we're going to wait on our 299 D3 to come in. I just don't know yet. I just don't know. But one other thing I do like, Bobcat, how to chain the machine down. I mean, these are really, really good. This one will accept a 1/2 inch chain hook. Yeah, I mean, I really like them, you know, versus the Cat's handlebar here, and their rear bumper back here, which is good. There's nothing wrong with Cat's system. It's good. I like it, but there again, I really like how it's integrated into the boom here. Makes it super easy to tie down. I mean, it's nothing. And my other machines are that way too as well. So, except for the S330, that was a total different machine. So, but I don't know. Like I said, we do like the machine. They're both pretty much the same length, 6 feet, track on the ground. I mean, this undercarriage here, it's more shallow in the back versus the Cat. You know, it's more extended towards the back. So it's just kind of like their high track dozers, you know. So rigid versus suspension. They both have automatic ride control, and I mean everything. I mean the Cat has backup camera and all that. This machine does not. It's got quick connects up front versus this one does not. I mean, you can see it's not here, and it's something that is on back order, like I said. And as much as they want for this thing, you know, I'm going to say that, and I'm not going to discuss any prices, but what they're wanting for this machine, I know why. It's because it's available, right? But what they want for this machine, plus some other things that need to be added on, you know, I basically spend a little bit more money and get a 299 that's 113 horsepower with the auxiliary cooling unit on there, and I've got that machine. Or spend a few $1,000s less, get a 92 horsepower machine, no auxiliary coolant, no hydraulic, quick connects up front, no backup camera, you know, and you go from a 10,005 pound machine, you know, this one is, versus the 299 that's a 13,000 pound machine, or 12.5 or whatever. So I do like, and I have always liked, the C-Lug tracks versus these offset pad tracks. Yeah, I know ours are beat up and ate up, but I mean, this machine works. It's not a show queen. So, but I mean, these are good for compacting, for building pads and stuff like that. You know, everything has its benefit, but for traction pushing, doing type of thing, these C-Lugs, I really like them. And when we finally retire those set of tracks on that machine, we are getting the C-Lug tracks. That's just all there is to it. So I really don't know what else to go over. I just I don't know what we're gonna do. We really need another machine, but I just don't know if I'm willing to settle for a machine just because it's available versus waiting on a machine that's over 100 horsepower, that type of thing. So anyway, I hope this helps y'all out. I will say this, these are great machines, both of them are. You know, the Bobcat is a little faster, just due to the fact that it's got a 90 horsepower motor in it, versus a supposedly quote unquote 74. So it does move a little faster. But in comparison to dozing, moving dirt, you know, lifting a bucket, curling a bucket, I mean, they both work well. And I won't say that one outdoes the other, because I'm telling you, that 289 is a little Hercules. That thing will do some things, and it doesn't seem that when you're in it and you're actually working it, that it is a 5 horsepower machine. It feels a lot bigger than that just because of what it does. And we've owned that machine since it was brand new, and you know, it's been a good machine for us. But anyway, so I don't know what we're gonna do. I hope this helps if you're looking at machines or thinking about buying one. You know, I hope this helps give you food for thought, because you can do all sorts of internet research or whatever and look at specs and read diagrams and see numbers, but the truth is what actually works out in the field and what it really does versus what it says it does on paper. So, but there again, these are both great machines. I don't think you can go wrong either way. It just depends on what you're really doing, what you want to do, and that type of thing. And again, thanks to Bobcat for letting us demo this machine. We enjoyed it. We like it. But you know, we're really looking for, you know, that 100+ horsepower machine that is evidently the unicorn, because there are hardly any that exist right now. So Takaheuchi can't get none in. John Deere, the list goes on forever. So I don't know, but tell us what y'all think. You know, we appreciate any positive or any type of feedback, as long as it's within good nature. We make these for informational reasons, and so people can see. You know, we don't need any keyboard warriors out there, you know, that type of thing. But you know, if you got one, let us know what you think. And if you've got any other views or points or advantages or disadvantages on these two machines, you know, let us know. And thank y'all for watching.